Welcome everyone. I'm Professor Chris Day, the Vice-Chancellor and President of Newcastle University, if you haven't come across me before. Welcome to joining us and thank you for joining us for our first ever Engagement and Place Awards. Of course, it's a great pity that we're still unable to get together in person to present the awards, but this is a celebration. So I'd like to encourage you all to participate by sharing your reactions on social media using the hashtag EngageAwardsNCL, all without any spaces. We've just pasted it in the chat, and by using the chat function, you can also congratulate our shortlisted entrants and eventual winners. Public engagement is an integral part of what makes us Newcastle. It's how we ensure that the benefits of our research and teaching have a real impact in the outside world. For me, that's always meant working closely with our many partners, because I believe that engagement can only ever really succeed when it is built on the principle of co-creation and mutually beneficial relationships. It's why our vision and strategy for the university has working together as the first of the 4 guiding principles that lie at the heart of everything we do. It's just over 2 years now since we launched our Engagement and Place strategy. Those of you who were involved back then, and I'm sure many of you will, remember that we launched the strategy with a day-long program of events that showcase some of the many examples of the work we do with our partners. Back in 2019, I talked about it being an opportunity to see what a university should be, a chance to show how our research and teaching adds value and helps to bring about real change and benefit for society. I said it could only happen if we work hand in hand with our partners, listen to what is needed from them, and work together to bring about real innovation and positive change. I said we would continue to reach out to governments and organisations here in our region, in the UK and around the world, where collaboration has an important role to play in advancing knowledge and solving problems. And I said we wanted to harness the enthusiasm of everyone in the room to explore more opportunities for the co-creation of projects. 2 years on, and I'm extremely proud to be here to present these awards. The projects we are celebrating today more than fulfill a commitment to more and better partnership working we made together when we launched our strategy for engagement and place. When you consider the challenges all of us have faced since the onset of COVID-19, the timing of these awards could not be more appropriate. In many ways, despite the uncertainty of the last 14 months, the pandemic has brought out the best in people. We have mobilised, supported one another, and adapted to circumstances beyond our control. Perhaps more than ever before, it has demonstrated the importance of working together for mutual benefit. Just before we move on to the actual awards, and to remind ourselves further of why Engagement Place is so crucial, we're going to start by showing the video that was made for the launch of the strategy in 2019. Then we'll hear from Jane Robinson, Pro Vice-Chancellor for Engagement and Place, about progress with the strategy, the impact of COVID-19, and our future priorities for engagement and place.
I am so proud to be the Member of Parliament for Newcastle University, a centre of excellence, of science, of creativity, of art, of engineering, looking outwards across the globe to the challenges that we face as a species, and at the same time looking deep inside our communities here to the challenges that they face.
There's no way that we, as a startup SME commercial entity, can be where we are now without the intervention and support of the Arrow Project and Newcastle University.
It really does your heart good to feel that you're doing something good and you're doing something helpful. It really is groundbreaking. And now we're looking at something that really moves the city and the region forward nationally and internationally. And that's wonderful.
Passion. If I had to summarise this project, where it sits within the university, where it sits within local communities and stakeholders, it's passion. That's the uniter.
It keeps people here, it keeps our bright minds here, and I think that that ripples all across the northeast of England. You'll see lecturing here at Newcastle University, in our banks, in economics, in businesses all across the northeast. So it really keeps Newcastle's bright minds in Newcastle.
The sort of inclusivity that we have at World Headquarters very much aligns with the position of the university, that it's a very inclusive, friendly, welcoming place where people can grow and develop. I like to think we're a little version of that, except we play records instead of doing studying. We study music and having a good time.
Our vision is to become of global significance, and working alongside the leading thinkers in academia through Newcastle University, I think, is a really important partnership. And by working together with those leading minds, we can really start to drive that impact right across society.
We think that our collaboration with the university and what we create together really benefits the region and benefits communities. We might be doing a project where we're working with communities and a researcher, and through theatre we can make that research more accessible to the people that we're working with.
We're a top leading hospital in NHS terms, and of course Newcastle University is world leading. So that's a fantastic platform to build any partnership on. I think we've got the best calibre of research going on, certainly in the NHS, in this country and probably the world.
A lot of the people who are coming over from, say, Syria, for example, they were doctors or they were engineers, and when they come over here, the thing stopping them supporting the region's economy here is just the fact that they don't have the English. So sort of being that support where we can help them sort of bridge that gap is hugely important.
People come to experience the wilderness, the peace, the quiet, perhaps the dark sky, but they are surprised and delighted by the different installations that the students have done over the years. And to have the students come up there and add something to that and to draw visitors to it really makes what we're trying to do with the partnership into something that is truly world class.
The real benefit of this relationship is the inspiration of working with the young talents that Newcastle University brings, and working together with your students and that education and that knowledge that they bring has been absolutely fundamental in us taking step forwards with the creation of solutions for those real world applications.
Seeing young people who kind of run to my door, my classroom door, and say things like, Miss, I've got an offer, or I've got an interview, can you help me plan? And these are students who, at the start of the year, were saying things like, I can't go to university, I'm not good enough, I'll not get the grades. And the outreach that Newcastle has done has given those the confidence and the knowledge to put that application in, and to see kind of like how they've changed their way of thinking with regards to higher education, and then how excited they are about the next step. That fills me with so much pride.
I came to Newcastle thinking that, to be very, very honest, like I didn't deserve to be here because of one, because of my background, and two, because of the fact that I am surrounded by all these really intelligent, really clever people, but I've been placed on the same level as them, and now I have the opportunity, and I was given the opportunity and took it, to be on that same level, to be in the same playing field as those who are doing the best, those who are researching the best of the best. And as a result, like I'm now motivated to achieve even higher things than I did when I first walked through the doors of the medical school.
Newcastle University is rooted in our local communities, dynamic, being a forward-thinking university, and ambitious, not just to change Newcastle, but to change the world.
Good afternoon. It still gives me a tingle down the spine to watch that fantastic film. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jane Robinson, and I am very proud to be the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Engagement and Place for Newcastle University. As Chris has said, it's just over 2 years now since we launched our Engagement and Place strategy. And I don't think any of us could have imagined the challenges that we would be facing as a result of COVID-19. The pandemic has had a huge impact in terms of our health, our economy, and the way in which we live our lives across the globe. Inevitably, this has required us to think quite differently about how we deliver our Engagement and Place strategy. Our colleagues, our students, and our partners have all responded with imagination, with creativity, and lots of hard work, as I think you'll see from tonight's shortlisted awards. The strength of our existing partnerships and networks enabled us to mobilise our response to the pandemic very quickly, with everything from our research to the way we were using our estate and our facilities to volunteering. So, for example, working with Newcastle City Council and Connected Voice, we built an online system to support City Lifeline, a project which connected volunteers to over 60,000 of the most vulnerable people in the city. Despite the challenges of the pandemic, we've made good progress on our engagement and place strategy, including developing a master plan for our Campus for Ageing and Vitality. This is a 29-acre site, which will be an exemplar for innovation, helping people to live healthier and longer lives. And nationally, we're a founding partner of the Civic University Network, which was launched last May to share best practice across the sector and with our partners. We're also learning from experiences across the globe and building a place-based network. And our inaugural conference with Pittsburgh in the US took place in January, focusing on a theme of sustainable, inclusive, and just cities. As our focus shifts from response to recovery, we're leading the North East University's input into the Regional Economic Response Group, which brings together the Local Enterprise Partnership, combined authorities, and organisations like the CBI. We're also working with our partners to develop a flexible programme to support re- and upskilling in key sectors, for example, digital, energy, and the creative sector. And at a city level, I think our partnership working has never been so effective and so embedded. We're part of the City Futures Board, which oversees the COVID response, but is also looking at future renewal, including how we can revitalise the city. And through our collaborative Newcastle partnership, we're working with Northumbria University and other key partners in the NHS and local authority and community sector to support the health, wealth and well-being of all our communities. Looking to the future, we will continue to respond to the social and economic impact of COVID-19, maintaining and reinforcing our core values of social and environmental justice. 3 particular things we'll be focusing on. Firstly, how our strengths in research and innovation can support sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Secondly, building our approach to inclusive education and lifelong learning to enable learners of all ages and backgrounds to realise their potential. And thirdly, supporting impact through evidence-based policy making, locally, nationally, and internationally. We all hope that we will continue to make progress through the government's roadmap. We know that the pandemic will have a long legacy, particularly for the most vulnerable in our communities. And so our core value of social justice will remain at the heart of everything we do. So now, I'm sure everyone is keen to get on with the awards, so I'll hand back to Chris. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Hello again. So as you know, this afternoon we are presenting our first ever Engagement and Place Awards. These awards have been established to recognise and celebrate the many innovative collaborations between university colleagues and our external partners and their value to the social, cultural and economic well-being of our city and region. The breadth of this work is evident from the sheer number of entries that were received, over 70 in all. The awards are grouped into 6 categories in line with the themes of our engagement and place strategy, and they are engaging for economic benefit, engaging for societal benefit, which includes the health and well-being of our place, engaging globally, engaging for cultural benefit, engaging with policy and practice, and access and participation, what we like to call inclusive education. As part of the judging process, all the entries were carefully assessed by a panel of 6 internal and 2 external judges. I know it's customary to say at this point that all of the entries were of an exceptionally high standard, but in this case, it's absolutely true. I've heard from several judges how difficult a time they had whittling down the entries, firstly to a shortlist and ultimately to one winner in each category. Over the course of the next 30 minutes or so, we will hear about each of the categories and the shortlisted projects from our internal judges. But first of all, we have a short video from our external judges, Paul Manners, Director of the National Coordinating Centre for Public Engagement, and Carol Botton, Chief Executive of Voluntary Organisations Network North East, reflecting on their experience of the awards.
I'm Paul Manners. I'm co-director of the National Coordinating Centre for Public Engagement, and I was delighted to be asked to be one of your judges on this award scheme, and to bring a kind of external perspective. And the first thing to say is what a joy. What a joy to see such committed, powerful work in so many interesting places. You know, I was traveling the world. I was in Africa, I was in India, I was in the Northumbrian countryside, I was in inner city Newcastle. I was meeting so many different communities, from people working right at the heart of the sort of COVID-19 response, in industry, in health, but also in all kinds of community settings as well. And I think what animated the work and what makes it stand up, I think, as an exemplar of how to do this work was just how much the work not only was creating value in the world around the university, but actually was coming back in and really enriching your research and enriching your teaching. And for me, those were the projects that really stood out, where not only was there a difference in the world, but it was obvious that the research, the knowledge building, and the teaching and learning of the university was so much stronger as a result of that engagement with people and that engagement with place. And for me, as somebody who looks at the university often from a kind of strategy point of view, actually just to see the sheer joy and the difference that can be made when this strategy is actually put into action was a complete delight. And I think seeing the role of the university in its place and in the world as a convener, as a connector, was just glorious. So thank you for involving me, and a huge congratulations really to everybody who went to the trouble of submitting such excellent applications. It was a brilliant experience to be part of this. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Carol Botton and I'm the Chief Executive of an organisation called VON, which stands for Voluntary Organisations Network North East. And we're a membership body for the voluntary community and social enterprise sector right across the North East region. We've been working with Newcastle University as a close partner for a number of years now, so I was delighted when I was asked to join the judging panel for these awards. And I have to say, it was a thoroughly fascinating experience. I really enjoyed reading all the applications, finding out more about the broad range of work that staff members and students at the university are involved in. And I was delighted to see so many local partnerships in place as a North East organisation ourselves, supporting voluntary and community sector. I was particularly delighted to see those partnerships and relationships with a wide range of organisations from our sector. And also, you know, really heartened by the breadth of subjects that were covered by the various projects and initiatives. You know, really interesting science based projects, creative, humanities, arts projects, education, history, all sorts of things were covered, and it was just really delightful to find out more about it. I learned a lot, things that I didn't know about, yeah, I was really heartened by the benefit that the university was bringing to a whole range of businesses, communities, organisations and people right across the North East, across the UK and even across the world. So it was really amazing to see that breadth of work. And I just want to say thanks to the university and the staff for all that you're doing to support these partnerships and being a real civic university, reaching out beyond the walls of your campus to really engage with the wider community in the North East. And I hope that celebrating that through these awards is one way of ensuring that that important work continues, and we will do everything in our power to continue to support it. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul and Carol. Now I think you'll agree that we've really set the scene for what's about to follow. So without further ado, let's move on to the awards themselves. For each category, we're going to see a short video about the finalists presented by one of our internal judges. After each one, I'll say a few words about the winning entry before revealing the winner. As you would expect, all of the projects we are celebrating involve the efforts of large numbers of people, far more than it is possible to name as part of the proceedings. So for that reason, the awards are being made to whole projects rather than individuals or groups of people. Had we been able to have this afternoon's ceremony in person, I would then have presented a representative of the winning project with the award. But for this year, at least, we're going to have to make do with sending the awards in the post. Sadly, too, we won't have an opportunity to hear from our winners this afternoon. But as I said earlier, do please post your congratulations in the chat function, and you can find out more about each of the 18 shortlisted projects on our website. The link to this will be shared in the chat. We will now see the first video in the category of Engaging for Economic Benefit.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Capaldi. I'm the University Dean of Innovation and Business, and it was my pleasure to be one of 4 judges for the Engaging for Economic Benefit Award. Now, as the name suggests, the award is for individuals whose work or research has had some sort of economic impact. So that could be helping a local business improve efficiency or helping to develop a new product or service, etc., etc. I have to say this was a very difficult category to judge, in that we had a number of very good proposals that didn't ultimately make it to the final shortlist of 3, such as Fiona Whitehurst, Joe Singh and Paul Richter had a project developing workshops for small and large regional businesses, bringing them together. Grant Burgess had a superb example of a highly effective academic industrial collaboration, which ultimately led to a new marketed product. Mark Linton's done some good work with local councils to help local businesses move towards zero carbon, and Shirley Coleman's work using statistics and data to improve efficacy in regional small businesses. So it was a tough choice. We had some debate, but we did eventually agree to a short list of 3. And these are Russell Davenport's Be Wise project. So this program looks at innovations in wastewater treatment, for example, generating energy from waste. Diana Gregory Smith and Miss Cassia Zamali, whose project explored using wigs to improve individuals' well-being and lifestyles following hair loss. And thirdly, Hazel Shiki Bird's project, Unpacking the Archive. And this was all about developing a literature program to help review or to help new diverse audiences of young people, not children, but young people from deprived areas in Newcastle. So without any further ado, over to you, Chris.
Thank you, Mike, and well done to all of our finalists. In choosing the winner, our judges described it as a fantastic collaborative research project. In particular, this project was praised for its aspiration to take the best of academic endeavour into practice by placing innovation and engagement at the centre of its success over many years of partnership development. It is a project that has gone beyond standard university industry support to provide a platform for both organisations to come together to meet a common aim, not only for their own joint research projects, but by inspiring others to join in the endeavour. The entry clearly detailed the benefits of the project for teaching, research and industry throughout the 10-year relationship based on a long-term ambition underpinned by trust between the partners. This project also scored highly with the judges for the nature of the relationship, which they described as grounded in countless selfless interactions between the committed, idealistic and highly professional staff in the partner organisation and Newcastle University staff and students. Sited in a former dilapidated and unoccupied building at Birtley Sewage Treatment Works, the project is experimenting with low-energy biological treatment technologies and developing low-cost ways to generate energy from waste. Its intention is to develop state-of-the-art revolutionary technologies not only for the region, but worldwide. For its shared vision and the successful long-standing partnership between Northumbrian Water Limited and the university, the winner of the Engaging for Economic Benefit Award is Be Wise, which stands for Biological Engineering Wastewater Innovation at Scale. Warmest congratulations to everyone involved. The award will be with you shortly. And now on to the category for engaging societal benefit.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Professor Kath Exley, Dean of Population Health Sciences Institute and the Engagement and Place Lead within the Faculty of Medical Sciences. And this year I've had the great privilege and pleasure of being a judge for the Engaging for Societal Benefit category. This category looks at projects that have made a significant contribution to addressing societal challenges. We received 17 applications to this category from across all 3 faculties. The variety of activities range from insights virtual lectures to Brush Up, Engaging Vulnerable Groups in the Northeast in Oral Health, and Diverse Applications of Bayesian Statistics of Business and Industry. Each nomination showcased the brilliant engagement activity that our colleagues are carrying out across the university, and producing a shortlist for this category in particular was extremely difficult. However, I'm delighted to say that we have shortlisted, and the 3 projects shortlisted are improving public understandings about Islamophobia across politics, education and journalism. Is universal credit a public health issue? Using creative methods to inform, disseminate and debate. And Young Persons Advisory Group Northeast in Perform.
There we go, sorry. Apologies. Thanks, Kath, and congratulations to all of the shortlisted entries. So the winner in this category stood out for the benefits it brings to its target group. The judges agreed that this collaboration was highly successful in engaging children and young people, enabling their views to inform the processes and practices around teaching and research. The project was praised for its responsiveness to the views of young people, for its willingness to take their lead and to devise work around their priorities. From its inception, this project has consulted and listened to the experiences and beliefs of children and their families through a range of activities, including films and educational resources. The judges also commented that it was good to see the project's long-term ambitions, which gave a clear sense of purpose to the initiative. For its work to develop new molecular diagnostic tests for childhood fevers, to help to differentiate the cause of fevers and identify which children are at risk of serious invasive infections, and to explore children and young people's consent in healthcare research. The winner of the Engaging for Societal Benefit Award is the Young Persons Advisory Group North England in Perform. Congratulations to all the team. Your award will be with you very shortly. And now moving on to the next category of engaging globally.
I am Phil McGowan, the Dean for Engagement and Internationalisation in SAGE faculty. The global category considered projects that sought to engage outside the UK, and this could be with particular communities, in particular places, or reaching across a range of countries and audiences. And the entries that we received reflected the great variety and diversity of places and types of engagement activity that are appropriate to engaging globally. We had entries from across the university, all 3 faculties and central services, and from PhD students to established academics and professional service programs. Proposals included activity in 17 countries and territories from all around the world: Australia, Bangladesh, Belgium, Bolivia, China, Guinea-Bissau, Kenya, Lebanon, Netherlands, Pakistan, Palestine, Portugal, Somalia, South Sudan, Switzerland, United States of America, and Zambia, as well as activities spanning several or many countries. The shortlisted projects in the global category are Colours of the Alphabet, a feature documentary film, including the Africa release and the follow-up impact campaign, For All Causes Community Map, which matched volunteers and community needs, and Gender Inclusivity in Peace and Security, implementation of the UN Women, Peace and Security Agenda.
Thanks, Phil. The judges were particularly excited by our winner in this category, which they felt achieved impact on many levels and scales, including the diversity of its collaborators and its geographical reach. They felt that the innovative design of the entry created a multifaceted project that not only fostered extensive global engagement, but also uniquely created a context for the film to have a role in supporting the very issue it documented. It also embraced digital distribution mediums and social media to create further broad networks of engagement within and across language communities in Africa. For its exploration of language and childhood seen through the eyes of 3 children and their families over the first year of school in rural Zambia, and for raising the question, does the future have to be in English? The winner of the Engaging Globally Award is colours of the alphabet. Congratulations, and again, your award will be with you very soon. And now on to the category of engaging for cultural benefit.
Hello, my name's Vee Pollock and I'm the Dean of Culture and Creative Arts at Newcastle University, and I was involved in judging the culture category. This category looked at projects where culture or creativity was at the heart of the engagement. The projects came from across the university's 3 faculties, and some of the strongest were where the research or teaching and the engagement that followed brought together science or social science with the arts and humanities. Often the projects were co-produced with external partners and communities, and the awards here recognise their engagement also, and we thank them for the contribution they make to our research and teaching. It might be cliched to say that the projects were of such high quality that it was difficult to narrow down a shortlist and select a winner, but it is true. The scale of the projects was very varied, from large museum-based engagement activity to smaller community-focused projects. And it's important to stress that all are equally valued. Some of the initiatives were long-term, such as Graham Farmer's Testing Ground, with Kielder Art and Architecture and local communities in the area. And each year I'm so impressed by the imagination, creativity and professionalism of the student projects. Other projects showed amazing ingenuity in responding and adapting to the challenging circumstances of COVID-19, including the collaboration between Claire Stocks from our History, Classics and Archaeology with the Vindolanda Trust on Stories from the Frontier, which was an educational computer game, and also Kate Craddock's pioneering work with Gift Festival. It's been a difficult year for culture, creativity and communities. And so I want to congratulate all of those involved in the submitted projects and those that were shortlisted. They all reflect an incredible amount of work, of creativity and of collaboration, which we value so highly. So well done to all involved. The shortlisted projects in this category are Dippy on Tour, Testing Ground, and the Vindolanda Trust.
Thank you, Vee, and again, well done to all of our finalists and particularly those shortlisted. Like you, I'm hearing about all of these fantastic projects for the first time this afternoon. You might be able to tell this hasn't been rehearsed. And I must say that every single one of them are thoroughly deserving of recognition. But I have to say the winner in this category is very close to my heart. As Vice-Chancellor and as a liver specialist, I've been invited to speak in many impressive venues all around the world. But only once have I been afforded the opportunity to address an audience from under the tail of a dinosaur. I think that's probably given the game away, but if not, our judges described our winner as an exceptional engagement project and one that met all of the criteria for the award. The project found creative ways to take the university's research to diverse audiences, as well as engaging children and young people in the subject of the entry itself. These groups were among the 304,928 visitors who flocked to the Great North Museum, Hancock, to see Dippy the dinosaur between 18th of May and the 6th of October in 2019. The project involves 7 research groups and 75 academics to create a show-stopping exhibition with cutting-edge university research at its heart. Dippy brought to life the past, present and future of climate change and provided an accessible way for visitors to explore extinction and biodiversity loss, climate change, food and energy sustainability and local nature. The judges felt the project had a clear legacy, including work towards COP26, the UN Climate Change Conference set to take place in Glasgow in November this year. The exhibition attracted a high percentage of people with low cultural engagement and welcomed over 10,000 children from more than 200 schools. It entertained almost 15,000 people through a supporting events programme and worked with 61 volunteers. For this outstanding example of public engagement and for giving me the chance to share a platform with a dinosaur, the winner of the Engaging for Cultural Benefit Award is Dippy on Tour. Many congratulations to the Great North Museum team. And now on to the category for engaging with policy and practice.
Good evening. I'm Susie Robson. I'm the Professional Services
co-director of the Policy Academy. And on behalf of the Policy Academy, I am proud to be part of this year's Engagement Awards. The university has an incredible track record in policy influence, and this year has highlighted the significance of policy impact and the engagement in research and social contexts. The submissions were incredibly diverse and showcases the variety of policy engagement that is undertaken by the university and with our partners. Project activity ranged from evaluating the impact of food policy on health equalities in the northeastern Cumbria to youth-led mental health campaigns towards ending AIDS by 2030. The impact achieved by all the activities demonstrated the huge contribution you all make in influencing policy and working towards solutions on major societal challenges. I want to thank everyone for their participation in the Policy Award category. Now to the shortlist. The shortlist is co-development of the UK National Wastewater-Based Epidemiology Surveillance Network, Friends of the Earth and Environmental Justice Network Ireland, the Paediatric Musculoskeletal Matters e-portfolio. Congratulations to all those shortlisted and good luck everyone.
Thank you, Susie, and well done to all of our shortlisted entries once again. Earlier on, you heard Jane talking about some of the many projects that have arisen out of necessity from COVID-19. The pandemic has changed the world and likely the way we do things forever, but I'm firmly of the opinion that many of the changes are for the better. That's certainly true of the many essential partnerships and new methods that have been developed to combat its global impact. Our judges felt that our winning project in this category was exceptional and stood out for its rapid and hugely important engagement around COVID-19. Early in 2020, Newcastle University researchers found fragments of the COVID-19 virus in sewage. Measuring the amounts of virus in such wastewater is very tricky, but the Newcastle team developed a new, rapid and inexpensive way of quantifying COVID-19 cases across communities. This local work quickly radiated around the world, such that the group is now an international leader in what's become known as wastewater-based epidemiology. The group's scientific contributions have been significant, but their engagement and policy impact may be greater, providing science-informed guidance on the mass prevalence of COVID-19 for industrial partners and local and international policymakers. Part of the Joint Biosecurity Committee, the project gained visibility right up to the Prime Minister's office. And the work has highlighted the broader value of wastewater-based epidemiology as a key part of future national and international health protection planning. The judges praised the project for recognising that engagement and policy impact were equally as important as their scientific contribution. They particularly highlighted the involvement of students in the policy impact through internships and dissertations with government and the private sector. The winning project in the category of engaging for policy and practice is co-development of the UK National Wastewater-Based Epidemiology Surveillance Network. Congratulations again to everyone involved. And now on to our final award category for access and participation or inclusive education.
Hello, I'm Alison Shaw and I lead Inclusive Newcastle. I was involved in judging the access and participation category. This category looked at projects which enabled greater participation, in many cases, but not all, participation in education. They were innovative, collaborative, and together added up to an immensely impressive range of impacts on people who would not otherwise have felt the benefit they provided. It's standard practice nowadays for judges to remind everybody what a difficult job it was to choose from so many outstanding entries, but it really was the case in this category. The nominations were not only without exception of high quality, but also really very varied. For example, they ranged from large-scale regional digital upskilling to widening participation projects within specific disciplines. I'd like to commend our law school, which featured in no fewer than 3 separate awards in this category, showing their huge commitment to this important area of work. We saw Action Research encouraging older people to participate in public debates and a major professional development programme for teachers and school leaders. After the judges' considerable deliberation and discussion, I can announce that the shortlisted projects in this category are: improved education for Roma pupils and families through translanguaging as an inclusive pedagogy, Institute of Coding at Newcastle University, and LARC, Later Life Audio and Radio Cooperative.
Thanks, Alison. So now on to our final award this afternoon in the category of access and participation. The judges felt that the winning project in this category was an outstanding example of action research as a direct outcome from an interdisciplinary PhD project. Developed from an initial collaboration in Newcastle, but with the potential to become an international initiative, this project has rapidly evolved into a UK-wide network of older content creators, age-inclusive radio stations, third sector organisations, local authorities and academic researchers working on age-related issues. By showcasing diverse talk-based audio content created by older adults, it advocates for greater representation of this group in public debates relating to key concerns for ageing societies. Our judges found this exciting work is making a significant and important difference in non-traditional and underrepresented corner of access and participation. They praised the project for its significant progress since its beginnings as a workshop in 2019, which now has academic papers referencing the work, and cited it as an example of strong engagement with an impressive trajectory. The award for access and participation goes to the Later Life Audio and Radio Cooperative. Huge congratulations to the whole team, and like the others, your award will be on its way soon. To close, I'm going to hand over to Jane in a moment to bring the proceedings to an end, but I'd like to thank you all for taking part in this afternoon's celebrations, and congratulations to all of our entrants and winners. Thank you to our judges and to our engagement team for organising the awards and today's events. I have to say I can think of very few events, if any, that I've attended in the now 4.5 years I've been VC, which make me so proud to be the Vice-Chancellor of this university. I think someone mentioned a tear when they saw that video, and I can tell you I've been pretty close to a few extra tears throughout the last hour, and that's a genuine comment. I think in terms of the press that universities sometimes get about value for money and many of the other negative things that you hear, this is the sort of stuff that we should be talking about. This is why we do the research. This is why we do the education, to produce projects like this that make a real benefit to society. The analogy I think that's been used in the past by others, and including me, is perhaps a previous tendency for universities to just do the research that they wanted to do or teach their graduates in subjects they thought were interesting, and the phrase sort of just chuck those things over the wall and hope that someone might pick them up. Whereas I think what you've seen here is the benefits that come from researchers and educators working with the people that they are educating, the people that are going to employ the graduates, the people that are having the research problems and asking those research questions that our researchers can put their minds to, the different outcomes that you get when you are truly committed to engagement and impact. I think you have, as several have said beforehand, but now I've seen them. I'd only seen one of those videos before this afternoon. I say just incredible admiration for all the work that's going on. I'm actually leading a piece of work for UUK where we're celebrating and building on the work that the university sector can do in building the economic and social recovery of the country post COVID pandemic, and that's being launched tomorrow in a campaign called #Getting Results. And you know what a great set of examples I've got, haven't I, when I'm being interviewed on the radio or newspapers to talk about what we mean by the role of universities in the recovery of the nation. Here I have some fantastic examples from my own university to talk about, as well as celebrating what the sector as a whole is doing. So thanks to all of you for putting in the entries, for all of those that did the work, for judging them, very, very difficult, as you say, and to our wonderful engagement and place team for organising a very, very well organised set of awards, which they assured me would last 45 minutes, and they're exactly right. So thanks to Andrea and the team. Jane, I think you're going to have the final word.
Thank you very much, Chris. And it's absolutely right to say what a fantastic range of projects that we've seen this evening. And it does, I know sometimes doing these things online is not the same as being in person, but certainly quite a lot of emotion seeing what an incredible range of partnership working that we've seen across all of those projects. And I think just to go back to something that Paul Manners was saying at the beginning of the event, you know, a real sense that this is really embedded and there's clear mutual benefit. This is activity that is benefiting communities and places, and it's also enriching learning and research within the university. And that's the virtuous circle, I think, around the engagement and place work that we do as a university. I think also just the incredible reach that we have from very, very local activity here in Newcastle through to that global reach. Phil was listing the number of countries that we were working with. It was just phenomenal. So I do want to just to say congratulations again to actually everyone who applied. I think, you know, to have so many entries given the year that we've had is quite remarkable, and a testament to people's commitment and enthusiasm. And to all our shortlisted projects, and of course the winners, given the challenges of the year, it is incredible. And I know that all the judges have commented on it, but the quality and the difficulty of the choices is definitely has come through. So all of the winners will be showcased in videos to be shared on our website and on social media. So we'll get to learn more about all of those projects. And of course, we'll be receiving their awards in the post. And I do want to thank local artist Corinne Lewis Ward, who's done an incredible job in pulling together some beautiful glass awards and prints for our winners and our shortlisted projects. So thank you, Corinne. I know you really pulled the stops out, so much appreciated. These events do take a huge amount of organisation, and I did want to take a moment to thank those involved. So firstly, our judges who gave up their time and brought their considerable experience and expertise to bear in looking at all of the applications. We had 6 internal judges who you saw this evening, Mike Capaldi, Kath Exley, Phil McGowan, V Pollock, Susie Nesta Robson and Alison Shaw. So thank you very much to those judges. And also huge thanks to our external judges. It's always so important to have that independent external view from judges and partners. So thank you again to Paul Manners from NCCPE and Carol Button from Voluntary Organisations North East. Thanks also to Chris, our Vice-Chancellor, who's been presenting the awards this evening, and also to our wonderful engagement and place team. Particularly want to thank Andrea Henderson, Holly Ann Carl and Bob Allen, who've been doing all of the work behind the scenes to make it run smoothly, and also to Melanie Reid from our communications team. Huge thanks to you all for hard work in making this event run so smoothly. I think after the pandemic, we'll all be wondering whether we can do awards in 45 minutes, but those of us who've been used to sitting through hours of them. So I do hope that you've all enjoyed this evening's event, and that actually next year we will be able to celebrate the Engagement and Place Awards in person with a glass of something nice in our hands. So thank you again to everyone. Congratulations to the winners and everyone who's been involved, and good night.